Just finished up preparation. We started outside, got some work done outside, and then became a little bit too dangerous to be out there much longer, so we finished up practice indoors. But got some work outside in the elements yesterday, practiced the entire day out yesterday. So prepared for the weather conditions, so that won't be a factor. And had a really good week of practice. I think you know what I'm most pleased with is we got great leadership from Everett this week. You know, he's got an immense amount of pride, and really enjoyed coaching him this week. So it was a fun week in the growth department from that perspective. He, you know, again, you know, nobody likes to be that guy that is, you know, singled out for, you know, their play. But, you know, he's the quarterback at Notre Dame, and he embraces that, and took control this week of practice, and was vocal, and was a guy that I hadn't seen before, and it was enjoyable to be out there coaching him. So great week of practice. Expect great things from him on Saturday. So with that, fire away.
Did you say a guy you hadn't seen before?
Not in this manner.
Yeah.
Not in this manner. It was fun.
Is Cody Riggs a game time decision, or?
No, he's going to play. He's not going to play the whole game, but he'll be able to contribute and play some. He practiced this week, and we're not gonna put you know, so many snaps on him that we lose him, you know, next week. So we'll be smart with him.
And then as far as the running back position, does Tarian go back in the starting lineup, or?
Well, he started. It just was the situation in the game. We were coming back. We were throwing it much more. You know, going into a balanced situation. You know, we would go back to what our rotation was.
McDaniel just finds a way to hang in, and even when it looks like he's falling behind, he climbs his way back up into the.
And that's him. You know, he's such a gritty, tough, competitive kid. He's always been counted out, whether it's in middle school or high school or at Notre Dame, and he finds a way to help your football team, and that's probably, you know, his story, and he continues to contribute, and again, you know, he's a great leader for us as well.
He seems to kind of thrive on the slight, on being slighted. I'm sure that you notice that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can recall him coming in my office prior to the Stanford game and telling me, underlying, telling me that he should be starting against Stanford because that's his kind of game. And that's Cam. And we did start him against Stanford because that is his kind of game. And, you know, he carries himself with a great deal of confidence, and it shows itself.
When a guy like Cam plays like he did last week, coming in relief, I know it's a different opponent now, so you need different skill set, but do you take that into account at all when you're looking at between him and Torian and Greg, whoever's going to start, that he played that well and that hard last week?
Oh, absolutely, and he sets a standard for those two other kids, and they get it too. They see it, you know, and they understand. I mean, the watchword around, listen, they hear it, you know, they hear what we say. They listen to my press conference too. So, you know, they hear me say, you know, Folston needs to be a complete back. You know, he had it written on his tape on his wrist this week. I need to be a complete back. And so, you know, he was focused on blitz pickup. When it was blitz pickup drill, he was in there, you know, wanting to prove that he can be. And I just frankly told him, when you get that completed, there'll be another box we got to check. So there's going to be more. So they understand that, and so I think, as I said earlier, there's more for those guys to accomplish, but they all still have their own styles.
Can they make big leaps in blitz pickup in a week's time, or is this just a longer term thing?
I think Folston can. Greg's still learning protections, and you know, is still picking up some things. You know, in terms of recognition, and he'll get better at it. But, you know, Folston knows what he's doing. This was more of a kick in the butt for him.
How are you with Collinsworth right now?
I think it's just matter of, when we're ready to get him in the game. I think just a coaching decision, not a, he's not holding himself back. We just haven't put him in.
And did he practice today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's practicing. Yeah,
So-
he's
so-
able to play if we decide to play him.
Okay.
Yep.
And wants to?
He does. He does. There's no hold back on his part. He wants to get in the game.
Does his injury make special teams a worse idea because he was so good at?
I'm not going to lose him on special teams. No, not in this situation. Here's a kid that, it's he's given us everything to even get back out there. I'm not gonna lose him on a special teams play.
What has he meant to the group, just still being a leader while not being out there? How has he done that this year?
Well, this year he's done it with a demand of personal accountability. So specifically on the Unity Council, he's the guy that has really gotten that council to be a strong mover within this 2014 team. And I think I've alluded to it on a couple occasions that's why I was holding back from naming captains, because our Unity Council this year was a real strong mover, and he was that guy, And so, just things with off-field behavior and how they handle themselves, that's all, a lot of that's driven by Collinsworth. And that's the kind of influence he has. Personal conduct, the way kids do things, how they represent the university, that's his, that really is a big push from him.
With the weather, how do you make sure that that's not a factor with turnovers and whatnot? Did you guys have to do anything?
It don't matter what the weather is. It was 85 degrees and sunny, and we turned it over 5 times. So we have to handle it, in terms of execution and attention to detail and all those things. We've practiced in the elements. We were out there today. We had 7-on-7 out there today, throwing it, catching it in the elements. Quarterbacks are out there in short sleeve shirts. We're not, we're prepared for that. That won't be an issue for us.
What kind of week did Niles Morgan have and the people around him? They are so engaged. They are so anxious. It's probably a poor analogy, but they want to do so well. They're like hunting dogs. They're just looking up at you. What can I do? But they're young. There's mental errors and mistakes that we've got to clean up every day with them. But they're so, you ask Coach Van Gorder, and for him, it's great because you have such a captive group that, just want to learn. But there's a lot of learning going on. And, every day it's something new for them.
You said Schmidt didn't travel last week. You said that, correct? He didn't.
Joe did not travel, no.
What did you tell him? What's it like telling him? Was he physically capable of going, or what?
No, not really. By the time he got back, he still had swelling. So, getting him, on the plane, they were worried about that, and all that kind of stuff. So, they weren't fired up about getting him back on a plane.
Was he
Oh no, he
frustrated by that?
was not happy. He was not happy.
So what's he been like this week?
He's been great. Engaged, helping. He's got his little cart right now. He's scooting around on his cart, but he's going to be, once he's up and walking around, he's probably going to be a handful because he's now just zipping around in the practice right now with his cart. We got to get him off the field.
Right, with Everett coming to him yesterday, I asked him just about checkdowns and dump downs, and I said,
Yeah.
is that easy for you? And he sort of laughed, as if it was something that he really enjoyed doing a whole lot. I guess, is that one of the next steps? And is that something that's a challenge for all quarterbacks? Something particular for him? How do you sort of see that?
Yeah, I think that's difficult for him in that it's, when you have an athletic quarterback that knows that he can, make a play with his feet, dropping it down to the back is,
you know, well, I can do that. So what we really want him to do is, through his progression, you know, utilize, if you're in trouble and you can't get out of it with your feet, find out where your outlet is. And we felt like there were a couple of instances where there was an impending crisis that he couldn't get out of, and he tried to get out of it. You can't get out of everything. I don't want to change him. I want him to use his feet. I want him to try to get out of some things. But you can't get out of everything. And so I think the process there is, you can't get out of everything, understand that. What you can't get out of, find your release and get the ball down. That's going to be a process.
Is that more or less like understanding where your fifth progression is? Like go 1, 2, okay, I'm in trouble, I need to go to 5, or how do you?
It's understanding a couple of things. First of all, where your blitz beater is, and really being clear on where that blitz beater is. We missed 2 of them on Saturday where the ball needed to come out, which caused, you know, a problem. And the second thing is, where's your check down? You know, touchdown to check down. Where's your check down? And we're getting better there. We're getting it, but that's the next step.
Coach, one of the things you guys seem to struggle against, I think it was 9 for 10 passes they completed on play action or something around there. Is that something you guys have worked on this week at all, getting the defense play a little bit more disciplined in those kind of situations?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, for us, you know, when it comes to play action, you know, anybody that would tell you that play action, if it's well executed, you know, and you have an effective running game, 9 out of 10 of anything is too high. But there's not one thing that you can say is going to eliminate really good play action if you're running the football. And last week, Arizona State was effective running the football. So the best way to eliminate play action is to do a better job against running the football. And when we were struggling against play action, it's when we were giving up, you know, significant runs.
Brian, how does, and I'm not suggesting Malik should play more, or that he should play instead of Everett. What I'm asking is, how is he processing Everett's evolution as a quarterback? Is he getting something out of that? Is he helping him? Is he, you know, how's his reaction to what Everett's gone through?
I think, you know, our room is such that there's no secrets in the room. You know, when we go over things, there's not, hey, you know, let's do this separately, Everett. You know, we watch film together. We discuss things in that room together. So, you know, he's hearing those conversations that, for example, Pete just asked about his progression. He's hearing all of those things. And then at practice, you know, all that teaching, he should be absorbing all of that as well. But when you're not playing, you know, sometimes you absorb only what you want to absorb. So that's the problem, right? When you're the number 2, you don't know how much you're really sinking in until you get out there and play. But he's hearing all of it. He's seeing all of it. But you never know until you get into the game. Just no.
Are there any new injuries this week in practice at all?
No, nothing. We said Cody Riggs will be able to play.
Collinsworth are the only ones that.
Collinsworth, fine. Yeah, we're good.
Coach, with Collinsworth, was he able to play last week, or was that coach's decision?
Coach's decision. Yeah.
How'd the field hold up to the conditions outside?
It was pretty good. Yeah, we were able to. It was coming down there pretty good, and we got the plow out there and plowed it off, and it was in pretty good shape. So the field conditions should be really good tomorrow. Great. All right, thanks.